This is Plas Teg in North Wales. 18 months ago, Ruth Watson met Cornelia Bailey in a bid to save this historic property.
I first came to Plas Teg 18 months ago and found the most astonishing house with an equally astonishing owner. But behind it all was a real lack of money and a huge suspicion of strangers. People who actually could help support the house were not welcome. Do you consider yourself eccentric?
I don't like meeting people that I don't know. Can you not put the cups on there?
I'm now back at Plas Teg and really delighted to be meeting Cornelia again, the wildly eccentric and marvellous person that she is. But I also want to know, has any progress been made here?
I'd rather have the antiques, which last, than spend it all on heat and have nothing. It's my choice, I suppose, yeah.
In 1986, Plas Teg was empty and on the verge of collapse. It had been plundered and left derelict. Cornelia Bailey fell in love with the house and borrowed £70,000 to buy it.
It was like a cave. It was full of motorbikes and bits of old cars and things like that. It was just a dump.
Cornelia gave up her glamorous life as a Notting Hill antiques dealer and moved to North Wales. Since then, she's devoted her life to Plas Teg. She has restored the house and dressed it with antiques, reproduction paintings, and hand-stitched upholstery. But her devotion has come at a cost. Cut off from her old life, she now inhabits the 30,000 square feet of Plas Teg alone.
In general, I don't see many people. Sometimes I go the entire week. It's a real problem.
Cornelia opens the house to visitors for just 3 hours a week on Sunday afternoons, and to ghost hunters on occasional nights.
I don't meet the people or anything. It's too boring to be asked the same question by every single person. So I keep out of the way. I don't like people very much.
But the house costs £30,000 a year to run, and with so few visitors, it makes a massive loss. Self-made businesswoman Ruth Watson has turned around the fortunes of numerous country houses with her straight-talking, no-nonsense approach. On a windy day in spring, Ruth is in North Wales to meet Cornelia in a bid to turn around the fortunes of Plas Teg.
Hello, this must be the draftiest corner.
I think it is. Hello, Ruth. I'm Cornelia.
Yes, hi. How do you do? And what a staggering house.
It is, isn't
This is just extraordinary. I've never seen anything like it. When did you buy it?
I bought it 25 years ago.
25
as a
years.
complete and utter ruin.
And just fell in love with it?
Fell in love with it, yes.
See, it is. I love these scrolls around the door.
This all had to be shot plastered.
Oh, my word. I love this floor.
They're flagstones that I bought from a demolition place.
So what was here before?
Earth. They'd all been stolen. Everything had been stolen. The doors had gone.
So the
fireplace had been stolen. And also, when I came in here, there were holes right up, and you could look right up to the roof, and you could see pigeons all in different parts of the house, in cupboards. It was lovely, all flying around. And there was a stream coming through here, and trees growing.
It sounds more like a farmyard.
It was. And in the kitchen, they'd taken all the windows out and everything.
Good grief. So this really has been a life's work.
Oh, absolutely.
You've done to it.
Yes. It still is.
I need to see more. I need
Yes.
to see more.
Most of Plas Teg's original features had been stolen over the years. The house has only survived due to Cornelia's boundless energy and sheer determination.
So how much of this work have you had to do yourself? How much was here and how much of...
Nothing. The fireplace was here.
Right.
Nothing, and that was all.
So you've dressed all the walls with the
I've stitched
fabric?
all the fabric together, ironed it, and organised hanging it up.
And all the upholstery and
I
things?
I do the upholstery.
You live here on your own?
Yes.
No family? No children?
I have a son, but I don't know where he is at all. Well, I'm not cut out to be a mother.
No.
Estranged from her only child, miles away from her friends, and with no one to take over the running of Plas Teg, Cornelia's life work will come to nothing if she doesn't secure its future. In the kitchen, Ruth discovers that Cornelia has a rather naive approach to her finances.
So what are you cooking? You've got the gas on. What's that
That's
all
for
about?
warmth.
For warmth?
Yes. When there's no central heating on. I leave it on all night as well.
Isn't that a jolly expensive and not very effective way to warm up?
No, I think it seems all right.
Really?
Do you think it costs more than having a heater?
I'm damn sure it costs
Really?
more. Yes.
No, I thought it'd be cheaper.
And how much per year are you spending on heating?
I'm not. Oh no, I think it was 7,500 for the heating last year before the increase. So
Right.
it must be up to about 10,000, I think now.
How do you afford to spend 10,000 pounds a year?
An old boyfriend pays for my heating because he doesn't want me to be cold.
Well, I think he's the kindest man in the
He's
world.
incredibly kind.
I'm absolutely gobsmacked. That's incredible and very sweet.
Cornelia is fully aware that this kindly patronage may not last forever.
How much money do you actually make out of showing people around the house?
It can vary between 100 or 200 on a Sunday.
Per week or?
Per week.
So
Yeah.
over the course
'Cause it's
of a
only one
year?
day. So that's 5,000 it would be, wouldn't it be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have one
100.
every week, do you have? Yes.
Yes.
So-
But obviously if there's snow or sort of bad conditions,
So do you
people
think you
don't
do
come.
make £5,000 a year?
I don't know, not sure. The money just goes, all the time.
You know you haven't got enough money here, and
Yes.
you know you need more.
Yeah.
Does that keep you awake at night? Do you feel fearful about the future?
I don't think about it. I try not to anyway. I'm just too busy getting on with what I'm doing.
With little income and an ever-increasing workload, Cornelia's days at Plas Teg are a world away from her previous glamorous life in London.
So this is like a gilded cage in some
I
respects.
suppose it is really, yeah. But my thoughts, of going back 20-something years ago. When life was wonderful and fantastic.
And you
all
don't
the
think
things
it's
that one was
wonderful and
doing.
fantastic now?
No,
What is it now? Hardship?
just work. But then the world's changed.
Alone with her memories, Cornelia is trapped by the burden of Plas Teg. To break free from her isolation, she needs help, physical and financial. Plas Teg is a Grade 1 listed house built in the Jocobean style. It was one of the most fashionable buildings of its day, with characteristic Dutch gables and elaborate scroll work. The towers in each corner are topped with cupolas and finials. Plas Teg was built in 1610 by wealthy politician Sir John Trevor. Its two great chambers, stretching the whole length of the house, were designed to impress his guests. It's said to be the best example of Jocobean architecture in the whole of Wales. But the house has had a troubled history. One owner died in his bed after a riding accident, and it was looted by Roundhead soldiers during the Civil War. For many years, the house was used as a lunatic asylum. Today, Plas Teg is popular with ghost hunters. Judge Jeffreys is said to have hanged criminals in one of the upstairs rooms, and some visitors claim to have seen the ghosts of his victims. Owner Cornelia Bailey runs Plas Teg on her own. She only opens the house to the public for 3 hours a week, and it's making a huge loss every year. Businesswoman Ruth Watson has come to Plas Teg to find new sources of income and save this historic gem for the nation. Ruth sets off with Cornelia to explore the house and its grounds,
Hello, boys.
but isn't quite prepared for what she's about to discover.
Cornelia,
This is my family.
I have to ask you, do you consider yourself eccentric?
I've always had the boys. They used to live in London with me.
How much do these cost to feed?
They cost a fortune. Absolute
What kind
fortune.
of a fortune?
Well, their nuts are so expensive.
So what do they have? What's their diet?
They have nuts, walnuts, peanuts, bread, biscuits, grapes, pomegranates, and tangerines. They don't like apples.
So how much do you think a week?
Oh, I don't know. It's better not to know. these things.
Does the ex pay for the parrots as well?
Yes, yes. They're part of the family, so they'll be here for as long as I'm here.
That I believe.
Cornelia's worked tirelessly for 25 years to transform the mansion from ruin into the masterpiece it is today. Over the years, she has handpicked an eclectic mix of artefacts, making the house appear grand and theatrical. But her obsessive collecting is beginning to create problems.
Jeepers! I have never, ever in my life seen anything quite like this. This is where eccentricity slightly slips into madness. What is this all about? And I can see a doorway through there, and I have a horrible feeling it might be filled with clothes.
Cornelia's passion for collecting has made Plas Teg what it is today. But out of the chaos, Ruth needs to find a way for the estate to run as a profitable business. She wonders if the key might lie with the handful of volunteers who help Cornelia out.
Jill, you are one of the guides on the Sunday tours.
Yes.
And how many are you?
We've got 4 of us, I would say, at the moment.
How many tours do you expect to do every Sunday?
About 2 or 3.
Do you get paid?
No, it's
You
volunteer.
just do it for love?
Yes.
Although you're kind enough to do this, if you weren't kind enough to do this, then she would be up the Swanee, wouldn't she, in terms of any income coming in?
Relying on locals for help, Cornelia needs to attract more volunteer supporters.
How is she perceived in the area? I mean, is she seen as an eccentric, or, I mean, what's the general perception?
I think people that have actually been to Plas Teg and have met her genuinely like her. If you hear anything negative about Cornelia, it's usually from people that don't know her or haven't been round the house.
With more help and more tours, Cornelia could double her income. With this in mind, Ruth sets off to visit a country house nearby that has won awards for its community restoration project. Nant Clwyd y Dre is the oldest timbered townhouse in Wales, and, like Plas Teg, it was rescued from dereliction. Its success is down to the group of friends who support it, coordinated by Samantha Williams.
The local people that were involved in the project very early on, so they saw it in a bad state of repair and wanted something to happen to the building. They've come along on the journey with us, really, and they've really embraced the house. So once it was open to the public, they've put on special events and
It's a formal structure with a sort of chairman, treasurer, secretary, all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And how many people are involved in that?
There are about 90 people at the moment and growing.
Right, yeah. And so do you think it would survive without the friends?
I think it would be very difficult. It's certainly brought the house to life, and they get involved with all the visitors that come and the school groups that come along. So they've really brought the house to life, and it's a great experience for people.
Fantastic. So they really are true friends of the house.
Absolutely, yes.
A formal Friends of Plas Teg organisation could take over much of the work that pensioner Cornelia is struggling with, and allow her to open the house more often. As well as providing a support network, Ruth is keen to capitalise on Plas Teg's theatrical atmosphere. She's come to Manchester to talk to film liaison officer Susan Williams, who searches for movie locations.
So can you tell me what it is that people are looking for when they're choosing a good location?
Well, they're looking for the uniqueness of the building. But in terms of just like logistics, it's got to be easy to get to, because you have to remember they've got a crew that's got to get there. Also, the building itself, in terms of who owns it, how accommodating they are to filming.
Do you think that actually the fact this is in private hands rather than owned by an authority or you know, English Heritage National Trust or one of those bodies, is that actually a plus for
that's a definite plus. That's a huge plus. It's use it to a location manager's ear when they say, well, no, I own it outright. You can, you know, we just talk about which area you want to film and what you want to do. So that's a definite bonus.
Yeah. What kind of location fee would you be looking for?
Well, it depends how many rooms they're going to use.
Right.
For any kind of inquiry, whether it be a photo shoot or a TV drama, you can be earning anything from like £100 up to the thousands.
Back at Plas Teg, and armed with her research, Ruth presents her findings to Cornelia.
Hello, Cornelia.
Hello, Ruth.
How are you?
Fine.
Good. First of all, I'd just like to say what a marvellous job you've done here. I don't think it's going too far to say that you saved Plas Teg for the nation, and I think everyone should be very grateful to you.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it.
Full marks for all that.
Oh, good.
But I don't think you would be able to organise your way out of this glass,
No,
should you fall
realise
into
that,
it.
yes.
Now, what you actually have is an amazing circle of supportive friends.
Yes.
What it is like everything else about this house. It's very unstructured.
Yes.
People do it out of love for you, love for the house,
yes.
affection for everything this stands for, and it's marvellous that they do. I mean, you know, it's a credit to you that they do these things. But what I would like to do is to suggest that this becomes more formalised. What I'm suggesting is that we have a meeting of as many friends that exist at the moment to see who, if at all, would like to take on more structured role.
But Cornelia is worried about bringing strangers into the house, having had bad experiences in the past.
The problem is some people come here to help, only to steal, and it's happened so many times.
You don't want friends like that.
No.
They're called enemies.
They are.
With a more formal organisation, new friends could be hand-picked and provide Cornelia with the assistance she needs to bring in fresh sources of income.
The first idea I have for actually trying to produce revenue is that you use this for locations, both for feature film, television film, and for still shoots. The house itself is so fabulous, so exotic. I mean, it's theatrical, it's full of artifice. It's like some wonderful stage set, and it has huge personality and character. And you could get somewhere between 400 and 2,000 a day, completely depending, of course, on what was happening, whether it was a commercial activity, whether it was just a short ad, whether it was, you know, a big feature film, whatever. But it could become a really good source of income for you. Now, what do you think about that?
Yeah, brilliant idea. Be ideal.
In the main, they will organise it all, and all you have to do is fling open the doors of Plas Teg and say, you're welcome.
Next, Ruth turns her attention to a solution that will see funds coming into the house immediately.
I would like you to consider selling some of the clothes, les vêtements, which are in that
it's difficult to... It's going to take such a long time to sort them out.
I think that room is verging on madness, if I may say.
Have you been right through into the bathrooms?
I knew
Which
there
is
would
also
be more
fun.
in there. I knew there would be more in there.
Even more.
I penetrated...
Rows and rows of fur capes and all kinds of things, fox fur coats.
I penetrated to the middle of the room.
Yes.
And realised that there was a doorway which I couldn't actually even get to.
Yes.
But as I say, I think it could raise quite a bit of money.
Yeah.
Finally, Ruth is convinced that Cornelia could easily reduce her running costs.
I know that your whole life is not about administrative stuff. It's not about being practical. It's about fantasy. I do understand that.
I know you
and
do.
I'm not trying to change you.
No, I know you do.
But there are just a few things that really, really would help on the expenses of this house. And turning off the gas rings is one of them. I mean, just even things like the nuts you buy for the parrots. I mean, I'd like to know how much you spend on that.
They're so expensive now.
I know.
I mean, the last site was £100.
Yes.
So now they're having to have half walnuts. And they've got to have their walnuts because they like them.
Got to have their walnuts.
It's their favourite.
It's like, I've got to have champagne, they've got to have their walnuts. Yeah,
Yes.
Okay. It's 2 months since Ruth's last visit, and changes are already afoot at Plas Teg. Janet, one of the original volunteers, has gathered together 15 locals to set up the Friends of Plas Teg organisation. Cornelia is too busy to join them.
So first and foremost, we need a chairperson. I won't say a chairman, I'll say a chairperson. Is anybody happy to take on that role? Deadly silence.
I was using you. Perfect.
Well, all right then, I'll do it.
The meeting's almost over before Cornelia joins in.
Now, Cornelia's the best one to ask where she most needs the help.
There's endless things all the time.
In effect, if you need something doing, you need a list of people that you can call upon to do those particular jobs.
Yes,
So we need
yes.
everybody's expertise, really.
Yeah.
Someone that is very good with plumbing, someone who is very good with joinery, perhaps.
Yes.
How do you suggest we go about getting more tour guides?
We can't ask people because we end up getting thieves.
It really has to be friends of people that are already here,
Right.
really.
Despite Cornelia's reluctance, the Friends of Plas Teg begin to introduce a little organisation. They plan to host a launch party in 1 month's time to raise awareness of the house. When she was last at Plas Teg, Ruth discovered Cornelia's vast collection of period clothing. She came up with an idea that has the potential to raise much-needed funds and bring life back to the house. Ruth has invited a team of experts to catalogue the impressive collection with a view to selling it off. Claire Nichols runs Vintage Academe, a London-based upmarket fashion emporium.
Hello.
She's brought along fashion historian Judith Watts and her creative director, Rob Myers.
We're going to the clothes room. This is the main room.
My favourite. Oh, how brilliant.
There's 2 rooms like this now. Crawl under here. I used to like dressing up in London because I've always had going to things and things happening. I've forgotten some of the things I've got now because there's so many. I'm going to leave you to go through and sort things out.
Okay, thank you. Thanks. Right. Okay.
Brilliant fashion books.
People love these. She is a real collector. And I completely...
absolutely obsessive. And
That's
she's
it.
completely passionate about it. I mean, there's order, but there is more chaos than I expected.
Yeah.
And there is an awful lot more than I expected.
Amidst the disorder, there are some exciting finds.
This is this really, really lovely little bodice I've found. It's absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it's about 1905, this.
The team has unearthed a wealth of vintage attire that will be sent for sale at Bonham's auction house, making a return for Plas Teg. And what's more, Cornelia has enjoyed having people in the house again.
Okay.
Thank you for an incredible day.
Yeah, it's been great. It really has.
Yeah.
The meeting with the fashion experts has been a success. But with the launch party fast approaching, will Ruth be able to coax Cornelia out of her shell and overcome her reluctance?
We're just talking about food for your party.
Plas Teg in North Wales is in financial trouble. 25 years ago, Cornelia Bailey gave up her glamorous life in London to live here alone and rescue the house from dereliction. But with little money coming in, its future is uncertain.
We've got to find a solution to keep this house going when I'm dead, as well as now. But I mean, you know, so it can last forever.
Businesswoman Ruth Watson has been drafted in to save the house from peril. Plas Teg is said to be the most important Jocobean mansion in Wales, and Ruth wants to capitalise on this to raise cash. It's autumn, and Ruth's arranged for Cornelia to host a fashion photo shoot for the Observer magazine. As a trial, the client gets the house for free today, but a shoot like this could pay over £1,000, so it's vital that Cornelia makes it a success. But the day doesn't get off to a good start.
Hello, don't let the cats in. Only the black one with the green collar.
So we were going to show you what we're doing.
Wow.
They're amazing, aren't they?
Absolutely fantastic. Can you not put the cups on there? Because it's a really valuable table.
Yeah.
The shoot gets underway and Cornelia is warming to the fashion crew. 4 months since she left and and Ruth is back in North Wales to see how Cornelia's getting on.
Hey, Cornelia, how are you? Are you well?
Straight
Absolutely, yeah.
Hello, how are you?
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
And you see around the... That's beautiful.
That is stunning. Oh, wonderful. That is so
Isn't it amazing?
marvellous, isn't it? Come and tell me what's been going on.
Absolutely.
We can catch up. Yeah, lovely to meet you, Jo.
Yeah, take
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it. It's
Yeah?
wonderful. I mean, it's like living in London all over again.
Is it?
Yes.
So London's
I
come
wish
to you?
Yeah, I know. I wish you could all stay up and live up here. It would be so much nicer.
Really, because
Yeah.
it's actually bringing energy and life
absolutely,
and
yes,
fashion.
and fashion, all the things. Yeah,
Yeah. So you're really liking it.
And the model, she's wonderful. She's, she really moves well. The colouring's fantastic. It's so pretty. It's like fairyland. It's really good.
The shoot has brought some glamour back to Plas Teg, and Jo Jones, the Observer's fashion editor, is impressed by what she's seen.
It's amazing. It's just having somewhere with a little bit of character, and with these big houses, the light is always amazing in the windows. Yeah.
The house might provide a fanciful backdrop, but Ruth is concerned that important details are being overlooked.
How has it been for you as people, though? Because I appreciate it's really good for you doing your job. So the loos, for example.
Yes, I think you could do with, I don't know what their names are, the two ladies that come in and clean houses would be horrified at the loos.
And the kitchen facilities. I mean, you've brought your own kettle, but
we're avoiding the kitchen area.
But so far, so good.
Yes, so far so good. I mean, I think, like you say, if she could sort out the toilets and have a kitchen area and just so it's a little bit more comfortable to work.
So look after the principals a bit better, because the house itself is good enough for you to...
Exactly.
Cornelia cleans the house herself, and Ruth thinks that concerns about the facilities can be easily addressed.
Specifically, bar of soap.
Yes, that doesn't look very nice, does it? No, I agree.
It's stuff like this. I mean, this is just dust,
I don't understand how it's got so dusty.
Well, I
Must have been the hurricane.
It hasn't been cleaned. That's how it's got so dusty. I mean, it's okay having old things.
Yes.
But in a bathroom and a kitchen, they've got to be clean old things.
Yes.
So I think this needs a really, really good scour.
Yes, yeah.
And then done on a regular weekly basis, if not more so.
Yes.
Do you get my meaning?
Yeah, absolutely.
The new Friends of Plas Teg could take on some of the work Cornelia is struggling with, and Ruth thinks she knows why some of the detail is being overlooked.
I'm going to ask you a very personal question here, Cornelia.
Yeah.
How is your eyesight?
Terrible. But I put my glasses on to do things.
Because I'm wondering whether that's the problem, that I know, being very short-sighted myself, that when I'm not wearing my contact lenses, everything looks rather beautiful because there's this lovely sort of blur. And the trouble with cleaning loos and hand basins and the floor and all those things is you really need to be able to see.
Yes. And then when you start bending down, your glasses fall off.
Well, that may be the problem, because it really does look very grimy in there.
You see, there's only me to do everything. I mean, look at the state I'm in with all the work I do.
Those nails are the nails of a woman who works in the garden, and those hands are the hands of a woman who works anywhere and everywhere. But I think you do have to actually make this differentiation between how you live and how the people who are paying you money are prepared to live. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Tell me about the money you're still spending on this gas ring. You can't do it. Turn it off. How does it turn off?
That way. It's off.
It's off. That's it. I never want to see that on again, unless you're boiling a kettle.
To help relieve Cornelia's burden, Ruth has instigated a formal Friends of Plas Teg organisation. But to be effective, the group needs more members. They've organised their first event at the house, a reception for 50 influential locals, politicians and civic leaders, to attract new volunteers and raise the estate's profile. But on the morning of the party, a reluctant Cornelia is still unwilling to accept their help.
The glasses look as if they need a bit of a polish. I have checked them. They do need a polish. Yeah, they need a bit of a polish. I've had a look.
Gone over everyone with teacloth, doing it.
Right. So we've just got to decide then
it's too
where.
early to do the things yet now.
Yeah, it's we've got. to decide where it's going to...
You know, I might put a clean tablecloth on the table if I can find one.
Do you want us to go and check the toilets, clean the toilets?
I've done them.
Oh, you have?
I mean, they're as clean as they will be.
I'll go and have a look anyway.
You know, I mean, I've done all I can do in there, the sinks, but they don't come any cleaner.
OK, shall we get going?
I think we've got a lot to do.
Right.
Come on, let's hit the road.
The reception is a perfect opportunity for Plas Teg to reach a wider circle of supporters. Without Cornelia's cooperation, it could be a disaster. It's been a month since Ruth was last at Plas Teg. Today, she's returning for the launch party. But on arrival, Ruth finds Cornelia unhappy about welcoming a large number of strangers into the house.
Not really looking forward to it.
Really?
No.
Is that just because there's such a lot of organisation?
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes. And a whole lot of people. I don't like meeting people that I don't know.
Yes.
That I think I probably won't like.
I want you to be as composed and as happy as you can be.
I won't be.
I want you to be. I'm going to wave my magic wand. You will be.
We should have had the party just for us. It would have been so much nicer.
No,
Don't you agree?
I want you to relax, because if we get all the preparations sorted before people come, so you're not worried about things going wrong, you know, either people stealing things or whatever, then you can relax.
Yes.
Yeah?
But I will be worried.
Well, don't be worried.
I mean...
Don't be worried, because we'll take care of it. And now, what about clothes? Because I'd like to think that you
I'm
weren't
not getting dressed up.
Couldn't we just have another top on?
Maybe another top. But we've got to get people to go at 7 o'clock.
Yes, all right.
Otherwise, they're, you know, because they'd be so boring, most of them. That...
Well, you don't know. And don't forget, you don't have to talk to all of them.
No, I'm not going to.
As the volunteers prepare for the reception, Cornelia finds it all too much.
We're just talking about food for your party.
And with an hour to go, she retires to her bedroom, leaving the friends to worry about the party.
My concern is she's not going to be showing people round upstairs.
Well, I think we have to, because it's not going to work if people can't see what's on offer. So I think some emollient throughout the day will help.
Yes.
In the absence of the host, Ruth and the friends get to work.
Let's go round.
But there's one detail Ruth wants to check for herself.
Oh, thank God it's been done. New towels, clean soap, and yes, the basins are old and chipped. That doesn't matter. At least they're not covered in grime and dirt. Well done, Cornelia. Very good.
On cue, Plas Teg opens its doors to the VIPs. Champagne is flowing, and before long, the event is in full swing. The Friends of Plas Teg have managed to attract the local mayor, 2 members of parliament, and dozens of influential locals. Cornelia is noticeable by her absence, but the friends are busy recruiting.
So we book up with you, do we?
Yes, or through Cornelia, wherever.
And you can go on the website as well.
I found the tour so interesting and intriguing, and I wanted to know more. And they were asking for volunteers, so I immediately leapt at the chance.
Cornelia eventually makes a discreet entrance and, unusually, is soon basking in the limelight.
I know. And the Observer came here. It was one of the best houses they'd ever been to. They loved it so much.
This is what it's all about, getting a group of people in who hopefully be friends of Plas Teg and therefore friends of Cornelia. Despite all her misgivings, she really does seem to be enjoying it.
Kieran does tours and helps on the Sunday.
Very good.
I'm going to be doing the rota to make sure that there are not 4 of us one week and 1 person the next week, so I'll be sorting all that out.
And then we could have weddings, and we could have car boot sales, we could have circuses, all kinds of things.
It's good to just feel that the house is actually full of life and laughter, don't you think?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, definitely. But still, it would have been better with just us lot.
The influential guests who've come to Plas Teg today could help secure its future. Local MP David Hanson says a few words.
And can I thank, on behalf of all the guests here today, to Cornelia for allowing us to join you on what is a very special day to celebrate Plas Teg and all that you've done for Plas Teg over the past 23 years.
Oh, thank you.
Fanny, Cornelia, I know this is absolutely not your thing. Could you bring yourself to say a few words to the assembled company? Somehow I knew that would be the answer.
Away from the guests, Cornelia does say a few words.
So, Cornelia, how do you think all this has been? Have you enjoyed having people in the house, the model girls, the photo shoot, the party? Has it been good?
It's been fabulous. I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's been wonderful.
I'm
I mean,
really
normally my
pleased to
life is
hear
so
it.
boring.
Yeah.
All I do is work.
Yes.
Whereas I work, but I mean, it was nice seeing other people's lives and things, other people creating and doing things, which is good, which I like, which is what I like.
Well, I think you've got a lot of people now who are really going to help, and it's going to take some time. But I do think that we've got the bedrock now, the first stirrings of a properly structured group of people who will help you here. Can you see that things might be better in the future?
I hope so. Yes, I think they could be. I want you to come and live here, Ruth. That's the answer.
I can't imagine it.
1 year on, is Cornelia still following Ruth's advice?
I know I'm not going to win the day on this one, but it is costing you more money than you need spent.
In the year since Ruth's last visit to Plas Teg, much has changed.
Oh, it was wonderful when Ruth and everyone was here. I mean, I wish they could have all stayed. It was, you know, it was nice having people in the house that one liked to be with.
Cornelia is still working as hard as ever, but at least now she has some support.
It's like the Mad Hatter's tea party.
Ruth encouraged Cornelia to overcome her suspicion of strangers and to recruit more volunteers to help at the house. They have made up the Friends of Plas Teg.
I think Ruth's idea of getting the friends group together and, you know, only keeping the good ones, that's worked very well. They care for Plas Teg and cares what's going to happen to it.
The exposure that Ruth gave the house in October 2009 has meant many more people have been able to enjoy Cornelia's life's work.
Come in a bit. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Plas Teg. My name's Nikki, and I'm your tour guide for this afternoon.
Increased visitor numbers are finally helping to provide the financial support the house and Cornelia needed.
We're making some money on the house, but, you know, the house eats up money.
A crisp autumn Sunday sees Ruth back at Plas Teg for the first time in a year. She's anxious to find out how Cornelia's been getting on.
I'm looking forward to seeing Ruth very much. It'll be really nice to see her, and she can see how much we've done here.
Ruth's arrival coincides with one of the now popular house tours, run by the Friends of Plas Teg.
And it's 17th century. The two chandeliers, they belong to the Vatican City, and the two chairs either side of the fireplace, they belong to an Indian princess, and they came from Maharaja's palace in Hyderabad in India. Right, if you'd like to follow me through to the next room.
Ruth is reacquainted with Janet, chairperson of the Friends Committee, and she meets Simon, one of the new volunteers, keen to know how they've been getting on.
And how is it all going? Because I wanted, you know, you to be structured with the friends who were here on the ground doing tours and things.
It's all been very successful. They're working long, hard hours at helping Cornelia run Plas Teg.
Yeah, and the visitor numbers have gone up.
They
yes,
have,
and they're more consistent.
Is it still on Sundays only? I mean, is there any
Yes.
possibility it can be extended further?
We've discussed it, but I think Cornelia's not in favour of it, so...
Is that because she doesn't need the money anymore?
Oh, absolutely not. No, she still needs the money.
And have you sort of provided that much-needed structure to the people who come to the house and show people around and, you know, really do support it?
Definitely. It was all very haphazard before. People used to drift in and out. Now the Sunday tours are structured with a rota for tour guides. Everybody has a role.
The Friends have begun to sell merchandise and publications to the visitors. They're committed to making money for Plas Teg and Cornelia.
Is she appreciative of your efforts?
We hope so. Yeah, we think so.
We get a cup of tea, don't we?
We do, and a
slice
cake
of cake now and
sometimes.
again. We don't do it for reward, really. We do it because
we love the house.
We love the house.
Well,
we love Cornelia.
Because she is the house, isn't she? I mean, she's so synonymous with it. I mean, everything she's done to it. I'd forgotten, A, how big it was, and B, just how marvellous a theatrical setup, you know. And is that, could it be Cornelia? Are you hiding?
Yes! I was wondering if everyone would like some tea.
Hello.
Would you like some tea?
I'm sure we'd love some tea, but I was just asking these lovely people, Janet and Simon, about how the friends were going.
Oh, that's going very well. Yes.
And you're enjoying having them here.
These ones, yes.
Yes. But listen, I'm going to whisk you away because I want to come and have private chats. It's really nice to have seen you.
Lovely
Thank you
to
so much
see you.
for everything. Come and tell me about other things as well. Come on.
With Cornelia appearing from the wings, Ruth wants to talk to her some more. First on Ruth's agenda, checking up on Cornelia's vast collection of vintage clothes. Ruth introduced her to some experts who sold a large amount for her at Bonham's auction house.
So, Ruth, you can now get into this room.
You are right, Cornelia, because, of course, I didn't see the mass clear-out. That happened after I'd seen you, but it raised 9,000?
Yes.
Since the big sale, you've had a trickle of people actually coming to the house to purchase clothes, making appointments?
Yes, 2 lots of people so far.
Right.
Yeah, and 1 more to come.
But you've stopped buying clothes?
I have at the moment.
That's good.
But I might still look for things that I could sell.
But as the clothes disappear, Cornelia is filling the room with other things.
What else is in this room that wasn't here before? Because this was full of clothes.
It was full of
clothes. Have furniture.
No. So the lamp was bought for this room, the table, the console table.
Right.
The pair of chairs and the lacquer Italian commode over there, which is rather pretty.
It is rather pretty.
Yes.
Do you think that it might have been an idea to have the ceiling repaired rather than buying more furniture for this room?
Until I sell a few more clothes, we can't get there. I mean, there's no room. So I've got to sell.
That as an excuse, that the clothes can't be moved, so therefore we just keep buying furniture.
Yes.
You are very funny. I have no problem with the fact that you have the most fantastic eye, but I had kind of hoped that you'd stop purchasing and start using the money to, help your life and the house, just...
Helping my life is buying the things to make this another room, you see, so people can come and see it.
Cornelia's obsession with buying antiques is still apparent, but Ruth wants to know if change has been made in other, more crucial areas of the house. A familiar sight greets her in the kitchen.
Now, Cornelia, I'm a bit devastated to see that we're still trying to heat the house with 1 gas ring.
That's what we're doing, I'm afraid.
So you haven't changed your ways at all?
Only, well, I have much less heat.
I know I'm not going to win the day on this one, but it is costing you more money than you need spent.
The generous benefactor who was paying for Cornelia's bills has now stopped. Have Ruth's business suggestions, like using the house as a photographic location, helped to bridge the gap?
What about the photo shoots? How are they going? Have you had any more?
Only one of our regular ones, that was all.
A regular one?
Yes.
Yeah.
The sort of local photographers, a group of them come.
So...
And they take all their clothes off and dress up and... So it's actually quite a fun day.
But did they pay well?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
At last, money is coming in. But despite this, it seems that Cornelia would rather spend it on the house than her own comfort.
Well, I mean, at the moment, I don't have any hot water. I haven't washed my hair for several weeks because I have to wash my hair down here in the kitchen.
Right. And that's because you can't afford to pay the heating bill?
Well, the heating bills are so high.
Then you've got to be honest about this, because
yes.
If £50,000 comes in the door, £150,000 comes in the door, if you just see that as a nice source of income to pay for more antiques, more paintings, more wonderful things for the house, nothing's ever going to change in terms of the heating bills. I mean, it's going to have to be your choice, because I suspect that whatever money comes into your pockets, you're never going to spend it on boring things like utilities. You're always going to spend it on gorgeous antiques.
yes, a bit. It is a bit. I'd rather have the antiques, which last, than spend it all on heat and have nothing.
So it's your choice?
It's my choice, I suppose, yeah.
Cornelia will forever be devoted to Plas Teg. But with the Friends Committee established, she can at least be sure her creation will live on.
How are you feeling now about, on your demise, which
Yeah.
we hope will not be for a very, very long time, how are you feeling about the fact that now there is a mechanism to leave the house?
Yes.
To, you know, the nation, as it were,
Yes,
but via
yes.
the Friends. I mean,
Yes.
is that a good feeling?
Oh, yes, yes, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I mean, life is such hard work. I don't think I want to live too long anyway. I'd hate to be really old.
Cornelia's continuing passion for Plas Teg is evident. With a little help from Ruth, its future seems assured.
This house actually is in very safe hands with you.
It is, yes, yes.
You feel that too?
Yeah, definitely.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you put every bit of your being into it.
Yeah.
And I realised, really, what I was trying to do is probably rescue you.
Yes.
So that rather than the house.
Yes. Because after all the effort I've put into it for all these years, you know, having no life but this house.
Well, you take absolute care of yourself, won't you?
And you.
Because this house needs you.
It does, yeah.
One thing I know is Cornelia will never change, and nor would I want her to.